This is Rajesh Nadwani. Today we are going to learn how to make graphs in Excel. I am going to take up a very simple example right now because the idea is to learn graph and not to get into the detailed analysis of the Excel. Let's start. I have a simple data in the column that shows the forecast of the cities like Berlin, London, Madrid, New York and Paris. It has a sales forecast and the actual sales. A forecast is done previous to the sales has taken place, and the actual sales are the result of it actually what the sales took place. Now we want to create a graph stating that what was the actual forecast and what were the actual sales. So here we have the data. Now we have to create a graph. Now this is how we do it. We go to the insert. Now first we have to select the data before we insert a graph. Here is the data that will actually allow me. Let's take I want to create a pie chart that shows me a forecast rather than a graph that shows me the forecast and actual sales at the same time. So right now I'm going to actually create a pie chart that will show me just a forecast. So I just take a insert and click the pie chart. Taking for example, I take this thing, this one, and it creates a pie chart automatically. Now as you can see, the pie chart has been created automatically here. It shows me the data of the Berlin, London, what is the piece of the pie that each city has. Now I move this a little bit here so that actually I would be able to format this thing. Now let's see. Suppose if I was not satisfied with the colors, or I wanted to see, here are the other type of formats, styles that would be actually you can choose from to format the pie chart. Let's take one for example. Here it is. Okay, and you see that everything turns according to the purple, light purples. But this is not exactly what we are looking for. We want actually to have a different color. So we just select this thing back again, and now the thing is that suppose I wanted a different layout instead of a different this thing. So I go here is a layout. I choose a layout. I can choose from this one. Okay, see the layout changes here. I have London now, London, Berlin, Madrid, New York, Paris at the side, and the layout has changed. Now suppose if I wanted to check another layout that was related to the percentage, here we go. And we have this thing stating that the Berlin has 26% and London has 14%, Madrid 17%, New York 23%, Paris 26% and Berlin 20%. So this is how actually this would show you on your graph. Now suppose if you wanted to see one more other style also, and here we go again with selecting another style that will show you exactly with the city the percentage of the forecast actually it is. But this doesn't make much sense until and unless when you have the actual sales, what are you just going to do with the forecast? So let's go and try another graph. But before we go, let's format this thing. Okay, suppose if I wanted to make this graph look more beautiful, so let's go and do it here. Select this thing. Now that thing I have got it here. Now suppose if I wanted to look this thing more beautiful, I go to and select format. Now I have here in the shape styles, I can select anything that not. For example, this makes it look a blue, turns the box into blue, and it looks much more wonderful, isn't it? Okay, now let's go and insert another graph. Let's click the insert menu, and now this time we will go and insert a graph that gives us the column. There are different types of this thing format, and here we go with the cylinder. Okay, here we go 3D columns. Sorry, this is the 3D columns we are going to select. Let's say this one we select. Before we select this thing, let's select the figures. Now I want to select the let's say Now let's say I wanted to create another graph which was actually which would show me the forecast and the actual sales. Let's go to the insert graph column, and here we go, creating this thing. Now this time it is just going to be a cylinder, and we have inserted. Now this shows me the actual sales as well as the forecast. Now for example, as you can see, again we can format the same thing in the same manner. Here we go to the format. Okay, again we can choose it from here what we want to as it is. Let's say this time we take an orange. Okay, and we have got it. Maybe I'll take some other color, maybe this thing, maybe purple. Okay, now suppose let's take it here. Okay, now again I go to the insert and I want to change the this thing. I have seen the graphs, here it is, you have seen everything. Now suppose now this, as I have seen this graph was actually a pie, I wanted to change this thing back to the pie. So how do I do it? So we go to the this thing, we select the this again. Now suppose here we are going to create a graph that is pi, and select this thing. Here we go, and we have got it back to the pi. That's it. Now suppose I wanted to change the inner this thing as a different color. So again I select, as you can see I have selected the inside this box there are 4 points that is being marked for 1 2 3 4 5 6 points that shows that this has been selected. Again I go and say select, and this time I go and change again to a lighter blue color, and now I have changed the format of the graph from inside. Let's see, this is how it is done.